Hello everyone, this is Donna of Prima Donna Crafts, and today I would like to share with you a project where I had several requests, quite a number of requests asking me to do a tutorial on this heritage mini album. I made this in fabric, and so far I've not had the time to do the tutorial, so I'm going to do it today. I would like to walk through the items that you would require for this project. So there's quite a lot of fabric involved, and laces and trimmings. When I made that album, I also started on another fabric mini, which is this, but then when I made this one, I just felt that it wasn't right. And then I picked it up again and decided to go for it. I'm able to sort of get different ideas of how to continue with this. So I've made the cover already. And for the cover, what you need is some material, preferably cotton, and I've had quite a lot of material in my stash, and let me show you some of the items which you would require. So I have got all the stuff in my stash. I've got gauze, for example. These are handkerchiefs which I picked up at a fair. These are lace bits which I picked up in Camden Market years ago. All the stuff from Camden Market actually. And then I've got some organza material which I bought off eBay to make flowers. And this is the cotton material that I have in my stash, which I've used. So it's, you know, a thicker, you know, like poplin, it's kind of thicker and it's good quality. So I would recommend using something sturdy. Linen would be a good material as well. And then it wouldn't be a bad idea to add a bit of color. I had this Laura Ashley material in my stash. I made some pillowcases. I can't remember what it was. Pillowcases, I think, for my daughter when she was little. This material, also very pretty, picked up as remnants from eBay. So eBay is quite a good place to find remnants. And then I've got burlap for the pages inside. And I bought this by the meter from John Lewis's in the UK. So it came by the roll. So that's burlap. And burlap is used for the inside pages. And I've prepared the inside pages as well. And I'll give you the measurements in a minute. So what I've done is I've also collected some doilies, which are very decorative. I've got a selection of doilies here. Also picked up in eBay, and some I received from my mother-in-law. Okay. And laces of various sorts, you know, are a good idea as well. Very decorative. And nice to finish off the edges. And I've got this, oh, I forget the name, but you know, when you embroider. So it's stiff, so I am thinking of using it as a pocket somewhere. So that's some of the stuff. And then I'm also planning to use some of these prints. I got them at eBay from a company called Caroline's Handmade. I'll see if I can put the link. She's got an eBay store, and in fact you would be able to get the information from here if I hold it. Okay, so this is the company. She's very efficient. She's got a good variety of these oh, what do you call it, quilt blocks they're called, and these are going to be used, ironed on onto fabric and used as a decorative element as well. Very pretty prints, so that's something to consider. And having said that, I am also working on another project. I had this piece of burlap that I cut while doing something else, and it reminded me, I can't seem to get the whole thing in, but you know, so I'm actually talking about two projects. This piece of material was sitting on my stash, and then while working on this project, I thought this looks more or less like a sampler. So what I did was I just played with the doilies that I had in my stash, and it seemed to fit very nicely onto this piece of material. So I'll let you know how I'm going to get on with this, because I just did a layout. They are not stuck down or sewn on. Just thought I will do both projects simultaneously, so you get a better picture of the whole thing. So it's going to be probably a wall hanging. Okay, so back to the book now. So get this out of the way. I'm planning to have 6 pages, so it'll be 3 signatures. And I've cut the pages out now, and I have the measurements. And gosh, I've dropped my measurements. It's sitting right here. Okay, fine. For the book cover, it is roughly 12 inches by 6 inches. Okay, and as I said, I made this a while ago, and I didn't take into consideration the signatures. So the signatures inside are 6. They're going to be slightly, and this one is 6 by 13, sorry, 6 by 10. Okay, so that is the size of the signatures. But one of the signatures, when I cut the pieces, sorry about this, you know, there was this bit which I would have needed to cut off, and I decided instead of doing that, I will fold it and make a flap instead. You see, so it's a bit different. So I'm going to add a flap because I didn't want to waste this bit. So those are my 3 signatures, and what I'm going to be doing is to run. You need a sewing machine, because I know that you can, those of you who do not sew, you can use glue to sort of you know, add the doilies and the laces, but I really strongly recommend that you sew the pieces together when you put the book together, because it would hold better. I have not used glue because in my book it's all machine stitched, you know, where the pages are attached. So unfortunately you would need a scissors machine, but you know, elements like these were glued down. Okay, and you know, for example, this was sewn on because I don't think the glue would hold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edge the raw edges, because I don't want the material to fray, and it's going to do especially when you have got something like burlap. So that's what I'm going to do off camera. So edge all the sides, please. And I'll just walk through what I did here. So I cut 2 pieces of the cotton material, and they were roughly around, the inside piece was roughly around 10, because you need to have a margin to fold it. And then the outside was a bit longer. It was 10 by 11. And what I did was I added some backing, some of this stuff, some filling. I mean, this is in Swedish, but you know, it's for polyester fiber. You can, this is sort of looks like that, but you can get it flat, in a flat piece, and cut it to size to give it some backing. Okay, and then what you do is you sew both the edges together and then add the lace. And this bit is actually some curtain material that I've had in my stash. You know, I bought this a long time ago from IKEA, never used it, so I decided to use that to cover the material. And then now I've got these doilies, and I'm going to use the doilies and decorate the cover inside and outside. Okay, these are going to be sewn on again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use probably a circular, stitch it in circles to get this attached. Okay, so I think what I'll do is I'll do the edging and then get back to you, because this tutorial is going to be in a series of 2 to 3 tutorials. Okay, so I'll speak to you again soon. Bye. Hello everyone, I'm back again, and I'm trying to attach the doily to the front and back of the cover of my fabric mini. And because it's a doily and it's got all these delicate openings, the zipper foot, the foot can be caught like it's doing now, so you have to sort of keep an eye and have a bit of patience, because the surface is not flat. So I'm checking on the other side as well to make sure that the material is also flat on the other side. Looks pretty okay. The camera is in an awkward angle, and you may not see everything that is going on here, but I notice there's some space here that it's not, and I'm trying to sort of get the machine to stitch in the areas where I see that there's no stitching. And I think that should be okay for now. So that is the cover, basically. It's not very easy to do the circular stitching, but I think it's okay, and that is attached. You know, it will be covered up, so I'm not too worried about the circles not going in concentric circles, but it should be all right. Okay, the next bit is, you know, I haven't done the edging yet, so I'm going to try and do that as well. And let's see, I'm going to change the setting. Right. Oh, wonder why. Start again. Oh, it's here too. I need to change that. Should work now. No. Sorry about this. I have not used this machine for a while, and now. Just checking, and it looks all right to me. Keep losing my scissors. Actually sitting right underneath there. This is going to be the boring bit, and I'm contemplating turning off the camera and doing this off camera, as I said initially, but you get an idea. You know, you do the rest. Yeah, so I've got the first one, and I'm quite pleased with that. It'll be sitting inside nicely. And then let's see if I can do the one with the flap as well, just to give you an idea of what I've got in mind. So I want the flap to be like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew the flap down while I'm doing the edging. I've got a Husqvarna machine which is made in Sweden, and they don't make these machines anymore. It's now, the production has moved to China, and this machine is more than 20 years old, but it runs so smoothly. I've never had any problems with it. So you will still get a few frayed edges, but you know that is because we are working with burlap. But I'm quite pleased with the flap there. So that is the second piece. So I'm quite pleased. The book seems to be getting along quite well, and once you've done the boring part, then you know it's nice to think about embellishing it. So we'll get to that shortly. So let's finish the final piece of signature. So I've got my final signature etched, and I'm quite pleased with that. And then now I'm thinking of how I'm going to be embellishing the signatures. I normally embellish the signatures before I put the book together. Okay, so I want to also mention that I'm going to be adding some lace here because I think the signatures are going to be a bit bigger. So if I put the signatures inside the cover, it's not going to really close properly, but the plan is to add a bit of lace, you know, a broader piece of lace. For example, lace like this. I think I need to get the machine out of the way so that you can see what I'm talking about. Here. So the plan is to add a bit of lace here, and then that would cover solve the problem of the signatures being obvious, and you know, you get that color of the burlap showing through, giving it a bit of an interest as well. So that is what I'm going to do, and I'm just going to cut it to size and edge the front and the back pages. And then I'll also make sure that the tie is free as well for tying. So that is the plan. And once I've done that, we'll go to the next part of putting the pages together. Bye.